Please help me to reach 600 subscribers. I never imagined I would walk out on my husband in the middle of a party, yet that's exactly what I did. I certainly didn't expect the man I left him for to turn out to be a con artist with a long-term girlfriend. Looking back, that night feels like a warning I foolishly ignored. My name is Karen. I'm 41 years old. Until 2 years ago, I was married to Tom. We lived in New Jersey, had spent 15 years together, and had built a quiet, comfortable life. Tom worked in logistics, a stable job, steady hours, and a calm, dependable personality. He was kind, loyal, and consistent. For a long time, that was enough for me. But over time, I started craving excitement. That fateful night was at a charity gala hosted by a mutual friend. The room was full of people in elegant attire, soft music playing, and polite conversations buzzing around. Tom mostly stayed near the buffet, chatting with familiar faces. I wandered, as I often did at social events, until I met Eric. Eric introduced himself as a financial consultant. Confident and charismatic, he spoke with the ease of someone who had life figured out. He mentioned investments, exotic trips, and ambitious ventures. But more than his stories, it was how he made me feel heard, interesting, alive. In just 20 minutes, I laughed more with him than I had with Tom in months. Tom noticed. I could feel his presence as he approached, trying to join the conversation politely. Eric shook his hand, barely glancing at him, and then returned his attention to me. Embarrassment should have hit me, but instead I felt a rush of flattery. When Tom suggested we leave early, I snapped. I said I was tired of cutting nights short just because he got bored. Our argument moved quietly to the coat check, with nearby guests pretending not to listen. Then Eric appeared, telling me I shouldn't leave. You deserve to enjoy yourself, he said. I made a mistake agreeing to leave. I stayed. Tom left, stunned and hurt. That night, Eric bought me drinks, shared stories, and made me feel special. He drove me home. Nothing physical happened, but I had crossed a line I could never uncross. The next morning, I felt a mix of guilt and empowerment. Tom barely spoke. I told him we needed to talk about our marriage, that I felt stuck and needed change. He listened quietly, which only fueled my frustration. Over the following weeks, Eric continued reaching out, pointing out what Tom supposedly didn't see in me, painting my life as wasted potential, calling me constrained by a safe, but unfulfilling life. Slowly, his words warped my perception of my marriage. 2 months later, I moved out. Tom pleaded with me to reconsider, to attend counseling, to slow down. I insisted it wasn't about blame, it was about growth. In truth, I was running. I moved into a small apartment Eric helped me choose. He spoke of living together someday, of trips to Miami and New York, of investments and opportunity. But cracks started appearing. He never invited me to his home, always had excuses about renovations or roommates. He didn't introduce me to friends, avoided social media photos, and dodged my questions. Then one evening, a message appeared on his phone, a woman's name with a heart emoji. My stomach sank. When I confronted him, he laughed it off, saying she was just someone from the past. Something didn't feel right. I started looking deeper. His company didn't exist. The office address was a shared workspace he never actually used. His extravagant stories didn't add up. Then I found her, Melissa. She had been his girlfriend for 3 years. They lived together. She sent me screenshots, messages, photos, proof that everything Eric had told me was a lie. I wasn't special, I was convenient. When I confronted him, he shrugged. We never said we were exclusive, he said. That's when it hit me. I had abandoned a loyal, decent man for someone who never truly respected me. I tried calling Tom. He didn't answer at first. I left a voicemail, apologizing, crying, admitting the mistake I had made. Days later, his reply was simple. I hope you find peace, Karen. He had moved forward, not with a new partner but with dignity, therapy, and a calmer life. I was left alone, and the hardest part wasn't losing Eric. It was realizing I had mistaken charm for love, attention for worth, and thrill for value. I had traded loyalty for illusions, stability for empty excitement. Leaving my husband didn't make me brave, it made me careless. I no longer blame Eric. People like him exist everywhere. I blame myself for not appreciating what I had. Tom wasn't boring, he was real. And real doesn't need to shout. Real stays. If you're tempted by someone shiny and new, pause. Look at what you already have. Ask yourself if you're leaving for a real reason, or because someone made you feel special for a fleeting moment. Sometimes the party ends, the illusion vanishes, and all that remains is the echo of a choice you can never take back. Please help me to reach 600 subscribers.